Hello, my name is Jerry James. Our goal is to build homes that give a lifetime of satisfaction. In order to do that, we're constantly perfecting our manufacturing process. Lately, we've realized that Franklin Homes does a lot of things that other manufacturers don't do. The things we do might look like small things, but altogether they add up to home buyer satisfaction. Let me show you some of the things that we do.
Many of the little things Franklin does to add value aren't visible in the finished home. However, many others are in plain sight for the buyer to see during a walkthrough. They include track lights over the kitchen sink, recessed fluorescent lights, glass globes instead of plastic, thermopane windows that fold in for easy cleaning, crown moldings everywhere, even in the closets, baseboards in all rooms, quarter-round moldings around vinyl floors, water-saver commodes, name brand appliances and components like Rheem water heaters, Stanley hinges, Owen Corning insulation, Shaw carpeting, Delta washerless faucets with 5-year guarantee, and Coleman furnaces, telephone and wall jacks placed for the convenience of the homeowner. Some other manufacturers might do that, but seldom do they offer a convenient junction box in one place where telephone and cable services can be connected. Franklin offers premium laminate flooring that has all the beauty of hardwood, but remains unmarred much longer.
I have in my hand a cigarette. I'm going to put this cigarette out on the flooring to show you how resilient it really is. Looks like new.
I'm Peter James, President and Head of Manufacturing here at Franklin Homes. It might surprise you for me to say that I'm proud that we don't always do things the most efficient way, not when efficiency means we sacrifice quality. Take carpeting, for instance. Most of our competitors install their carpet right after the floor is built, before the walls are assembled on the house. This means that the walls are assembled on top of the carpet. Also, it means that the production workers inside of the production facility are walking on that carpet during the production process. Here at Franklin Homes, we install our carpeting last. We install it with tack strip, pad, and stretch the carpet in room by room. This is so that the homeowner, when they get the house, the carpeting is fresh. They're the only people that are going to be walking on it, as well as it helps the homeowner if they ever get ready to remove the carpet and install new, the parts are there for them to do that very easily.
The one-piece tubs and showers Franklin installs are thicker fiberglass like custom builders would use. The unit is installed the way a custom builder would install it. Other manufacturers attach the shower and tub to the drywall and use a molding to cover the tub edges. It has an added-on look. Franklin fastens tub and showers to the stud walls, and then drywall is hung around it. This gives a custom look that indicates quality. The drywall in Franklin Homes is smooth finished. It's a lot quicker to come in and spray walls with plaster to give an orange peel effect. But just try to repair that kind of finish or hang wallpaper on it. Smooth finish is better for future satisfaction. The vinyl siding used by Franklin is a premium material which has a slot for attachment, and the brad that attaches it is not driven in all the way so that the siding can move. The reason is that sun beating down on the siding can generate enough heat to cause the siding to expand. If it doesn't have anywhere to go, it bends and ripples. That doesn't happen on a Franklin home because they have several levels of quality control to assure that the attachment of siding allows for expansion. With a Franklin home, quality begins right at the front door.
Here's a nice extra that the homeowner will enjoy. A 38 by 80 inch front and rear door. It's really nice for a tall guy like me, having plenty of headroom, and it's wonderful when you start moving furniture in and out of the house.
Sometimes we use a little bit more materials. It's not a lot of cost, but it sure makes a big difference. Take these fasteners for example. We use screws, staples, and nails in most applications that we use. We install more of these fasteners per square foot than most of our competitors in the manufactured housing industry. I'm sure we use more of them than most custom builders do as well.
In a Franklin home, everything is built stronger with more fasteners and better methods. Decking is first glued and then stapled. Sidewalls are screwed and nailed to the floor. Most other builders use nails or staples only. In addition to nails, Franklin drives 3 screws between each 16-inch center to fasten the walls to the floor. The OSB sheathing is screwed, glued, and stapled to end walls. OSB sheathing is hung vertically on outer walls, and drywall is hung horizontally inside. Their strength complements each other. Franklin builds with rafters that are 2x4 or better. Most of the competition uses 2x2s. 2x4 is much better able to handle downloading like snow and uploading like wind. Franklin uses 2x4 or 2x6 subfascia on sidewall soffits. The competition generally uses 1x4 or 1x6s, which don't withstand wind uploading with the same integrity. Franklin homes are built square. A home built square is stronger and the sections go together better. Building square starts with superior lumber, which is then cut square. Franklin buys number 2 or better lumber. 2 or better is generally straighter and has fewer knot holes and rough edges than 3 or better, which is what most of the competition uses. Franklin buys lumber oversized and cuts it in the factory with an automated saw. Only with an automated saw such as this one can lumber be accurately cut on both ends at the same time. It's the only way to be absolutely sure that lumber is square. A great aid to building the home perfectly square is that windows and doors are constructed in jigs to assure that they'll be built square when installed.
I want to show you about the difference in our competitors' doors and our doors. If you'll notice, this door is a 78-inch door. This is a door like our competitors use. You can see it's a thinner door. It's only 78 inches tall, and it has a 3-piece hinge, and it only has 2 screws in it, and only 2 hinges. This is the door we use. You see it's 80 inches tall, full house type length, and this is the hinge we use. 3 hinges. I'm going to show you the benefit of the 3 mortise hinges on the Franklin interior door. If you'll notice, I'm going to swing on it. Don't try that on one of our competitors' doors. With the door we use, with the 3 hinges, the door will stay square much longer in the frame than it would otherwise. This is a door you can swing on. This is a door you better not swing on. We're absolutely positive that our plumbing won't leak, and we do some things to prove that. We test the plumbing with compressed air, then we ship the compressed air in the home. So when the contractor is setting it up, before he hooks it to the water system, all he has to do is open this valve and you'll hear the swoosh of the air rushing out, and he knows that when he fills the plumbing lines with water that they won't leak. That swoosh is the sound of quality plumbing, and you won't hear that from any other manufacturer.
There are many differences in the plumbing system of a Franklin home. Franklin installs cutoffs everywhere, under sinks, toilets, and even lines going to the dishwashers. In addition to all that is a main cutoff outside. In an emergency, all water to the home can be easily cut off with a valve underneath the home that can be turned by hand. A city's water system might be 100 pounds per square inch. Only 45 psi is needed to have very good water pressure in the home. Franklin installs a water pressure regulator that holds the pressure down to 45 psi. That prevents strain on plumbing lines and connections. Don't look for that on other manufactured homes. When water has been cut off and air gets into the plumbing lines, they can rattle and knock when the water is turned back on. It's called air hammer. It's more than a nuisance, it's a stress on the plumbing. To prevent air hammer, Franklin installs an air hammer muffler. Water rushing in pushes the air up into the pipe that has been capped. Then water is cushioned by the trapped air and can continue, without knocking, into the line that connects, in this case, to the water heater. The same works in reverse with the hot water line. Depending on the design, the home might have more than one air hammer muffler. Most manufacturers' homes will not have this device at all. These CPVC pipes have been capped, even though the caps must later be cut off for making connections to faucets and other appliances. This extra step in an early stage of construction keeps pipes clear of any debris or clogging dust that could later cause a blockage when the water is turned on. Another safeguard against plumbing problems is this piece of scrap vinyl attached over the waste pipe connection where the toilet will be placed. Debris large enough to stop up the waste lines can fall in if left uncovered. These are small but important steps Franklin takes to assure the highly reliable plumbing of a Franklin home.
This is a bundle of rock wool or mineral wool that I have taken from the roof of one of our houses. This is what we use to insulate the roof. This is the mineral wool. This is a penny I'm putting in here. This is a Bunsen burner, and I'm going to melt the penny, and the wool is insulating my hand.
This is the best blown-in insulation that can be obtained, and the roof can have varying amounts according to the temperature zone the home will go to. Walls also can be insulated to the buyer's specification. Marriage walls of the two halves of a double wide are insulated. When the two sections come together, insulation is effectively doubled. This helps with energy efficiency and also offers additional soundproofing. Most of Franklin's competitors fabricate straight-line ductwork. Franklin fabricates ductwork with step-downs. Stepping down increases air pressure to ensure that heated or cooled air reaches both ends of the home. More than that, Franklin carefully caulks all seams to stop leakage and prevent mold in the home, and then wraps the ductwork with insulation for maximum efficiency.
There's another thing that we do different with our ductwork that the homeowner will notice when they move their furniture in. We either install the registers for the heat duct in the perimeter areas of the floor so that the furniture placements will not be where the registers are, or in this case, we install the heat duct vents overhead.
Although there is a moisture barrier to seal the subfloor and a moisture barrier for outer walls, Franklin goes even further to stop moisture and air infiltration. Holes cut for plumbing are sealed with expanding foam. Foam tape is placed on the floor decking where the walls are set so that there is no space between the decking and the bottom of the wall. A foam seal, sort of a gasket, is installed between sections of the home. When the sections come together, there are no gaps for air to infiltrate. An inexpensive fix to potentially serious problems is this ventilation baffle. Blown-in insulation can build up so that it blocks the intake of air from vents located in the eaves of the roof. A ventilation baffle such as Franklin uses is a small cost and an easy installation, but Franklin competitors don't bother with this low-cost fix. Various ventilation systems are used by various manufacturers to vent hot, moist air. This plexiglass model of a house was built to demonstrate the effectiveness of different vents. For demonstration purposes, a small fan is used to create a breeze across the roof. Since air cannot be seen, smoke is used to represent hot, moist air. The smoke shows vividly how effective a vent is at circulating air. This hole cut in the side of the demo house represents an intake vent. For real effectiveness, the ventilation system should pull fresh air in this intake at the same time it is pulling hot air out of the attic space. First, the ventilation system used by Franklin competitors will be shown. The ridge vent is a simple device that only leaves an open slot for hot air to escape. It has no capability to pull the air out.
A lot of products we compete against and that other manufacturers are involved with are these ridgeline ventilators. The concern with those, a lot of them don't have baffles, so they're not going to draw that hot air and moisture out. There's no baffle to create that negative pressure and draw that air out. You take a look, when I fog up our demo house here, you can see when that wind blows across the ridge line, it's actually pushing the hot air and moisture you're trying to alleviate back down in the attic. The stuff you're trying to pull out, it's pushing right back down in there.
Another ridge vent used by Franklin competitors is again only a slot which has no capability to pull the air out of the attic.
Another ridgeline ventilation product similar to the last one, again you see no baffle, you have the same concern, you got wind blowing across your roof line and pushing that hot air and moisture you're trying to alleviate back down in there. When the hot air and moisture you're trying to alleviate is getting pushed down in there, it's making your insulation lose its R value by compressing it. You're having the issue of rotting your decking and your wood. So there's all kind of destructive things happening when that hot air and moisture aren't pulled out like they're supposed to be.
This commonly used system is called a static vent. It is more efficient than the ridge vents, but just as the name static vent implies, it has no moving parts to pull air through the attic from the intake vents.
A lot of manufacturers will also use a static vent, which again will pull some air, but not to the degree that the Whirlybird system that Franklin uses will. You can see from your intake, that's what that's supposed to simulate. You're getting air pushed back down in there. You're having almost a reverse effect of what you need to draw that hot air and moisture out. This is the Lamanco Whirlybird system that Franklin uses. You can see from the dramatization how it's literally sucking that cool, dry air in your intake, flushing that hot, moist air out, doing the job for the homeowner that it needs to do to keep their heating and cooling system from working overtime, and to prolong the life of their building products, their insulation, their paint, their wood, everything. This particular product comes with a lifetime warranty. As long as the structure is standing, we'll stand behind it. It's Dade County approved, so it'll withstand winds of up to 147 miles an hour, which has been an issue lately, particularly down on the coast. It has a 2 ball bearing system, upper and lower, with a lubricant ultrasonically sealed in them, so you'll never have the issue with squeaking or not turning.
Only the Lamanco Whirlybird turbine vent can effectively pull air through the intake vent and eliminate it from the attic, which gives constant circulation.
Some of the additional steps that we take could be done by other manufacturers, but they don't have the equipment to do it efficiently like we do. Every double-wide home is put together here in this bay so that we know it will fit when it gets to the customer's site. The setup people always like to get a Franklin home because they know it's going to go together properly on site.
Some of the little things Franklin does are actually quite big and impressive. They have built into their factory a huge bay into which both sections of a double-wide home can be pulled. This is for the purpose of pre-assembling the home before it leaves the factory. It's a specialized system that is the ultimate in quality control. Franklin knows before the home ever reaches its destination that will go together properly on site because it has already been together. Using cranes and hoists and dollies, Franklin can put together a home in about an hour. No competitor known to Franklin goes this far to control the quality of the homes they build.
This home has just been put together and leveled. We've moved it apart slightly so that we can show you some of the things we do to help the setup contractor when he gets it on site. Once we get the home set up and leveled, we make marks across the wall like you see here. And you can see back here in these openings. So all the contractor has to do when he gets it on site is just line these marks up, and he knows that the openings will all be aligned. And the roof will be aligned and the floor